Welcome to today's edition of ISM's Quick Tips. I'm Jackie Yamada, a consultant with Independent School Management. Thank you for joining me today as we discuss homestay programs and their sustainability. The primary concerns for parents of international students are more basic than schools may think. While some concerns have increased surrounding cost, recent studies debunk the long-held belief that the student's academic success and college admission are the only major concerns. Individual school data, as well as the various professional association studies, show that overall school safety, personal security, and the student's well-being are now of far greater interest to parents. Addressing this can be a paradigm shift for educators and school administrators who traditionally focus the discussion on education, including highlighting their program distinctions, successes, and the top college admissions. Is your school team, be it admission or enrollment management, prepared to address today's parents' true concerns, both honestly and earnestly? Does your school currently track and use inquiry data to inform international parents? It is something to seriously consider. A second item is the SEVP, Student and Visitor Exchange Program's expectations with regards to homestay programs and the vetting of host families. Do your school officials know the most recent regulatory changes, or have they read the most recently published program guidelines? The vetting process for families participating in homestay programs is expected to be thorough and completed by, or at least overseen by, the appropriate school personnel. No matter the size of your school, size of your budget, or program enrollment numbers, this advice can be adjusted to scale. Make certain to properly and strategically staff your international program. An equally important item schools should be concerning themselves with is identifying new pools of families to participate in the homestay program. Carefully review exactly where and how your school recruits great families to participate, especially if you are new to the school, new to your role, or have simply inherited a well-established program. Some absolutely wonderful families return every year, but is it well understood as to their reasoning behind this type of commitment? And is it prudent to rely on such? We recommend casting both a wider net and looking closer to home for new resources of potential families. It is important to understand how the onset of stipends paid to families for room and board, sometimes overly excessive now, has changed the landscape in a very dramatic and irrevocable way. Even more critical is that your PDSO/DSO team understand that regardless of whether this authority remains in-house or is outsourced to a third party, oversight of the vetting process and selection of the host families is ultimately the responsibility of the school officials, per SEVP regulation. So while we have reviewed a few critical items to know and understand, this is only a thumbnail sketch of the topic at hand. Homestay program sustainability is a challenge for many schools, causing most to review the overall viability of their international programs as a whole. Please join me in upcoming webinars and workshops when we will take a more in-depth look at homestay programs. We will offer our expertise advice on how your school can make these needed shifts to right-size your program and set a course for success.